Let's look at how to secure web applications. Incorporate security in the lifecycle. Apply information security principles to all software development efforts. So, right from module 1 onwards, we have been talking incorporate security into the lifecycle. Do not retrofit security into your applications or organization. Educate users, issue awareness, conduct trainings. Now, all of those things have to be done. Use secure coding practices. So, if the developers do not know, train them on secure coding practices. When you talk about securing web applications, incorporating security into the lifecycle, integrate security into the application requirements, include information security professionals in the software architecture or design review, which is very important. Security APIs and libraries, example ESAPI, validator, etc. when possible. Then do a threat modeling. Then use web application vulnerability assessment tools to test the application. Now, if you see on the right hand side, the security is encompassed by four criteria. Now, where to begin? So, it should begin right from the development to the QA, then to production, and then to audit. So, security should be a process which has to be followed in all stages of the development, quality analysis or quality assurance, production, and audit. How to secure web applications? Again, educate the developers on the software security best practices, educate the testers on methods for identifying the vulnerabilities, the security professionals on software development and secure coding practices, best practices, so that they can actually go and audit whether the development team and the testing team have done a correct job. Then executives, system owners, and all others for understanding the perspective of risk and why they should be concerned about. This is an example of a phishing attack. We have already spoke about phishing in domain 4, but this is this is how a phishing attack appears. You would have seen a lot of mails from Nigeria also seeking or telling you that somebody wants to transfer $400 million to your account. Then as you go, they will keep asking you to deposit some money and all those nonsensical things they will send. There are people who actually fall for it and go ahead and raise their money in such scheme. And incidentally, this phishing itself started or became very prevalent from Nigeria. Under the Nigerian Penal Code, that section is section 419. It is also called the Nigerian Connection Scam. So, whenever you get these kind of mails, reject it or just spam it, put it into junk mail, don't use it. It is very surprising to know that a lot of big companies have also been compromised. If you see on the left, it is appearing to come from UPS. So that page itself has been, UPS page itself has been created. In fact, two of them. On the right also it is UPS Express Service and the left it is UPS Quantum View. Now this is a typical phishing page which has happened. Now if you go to the UPS site, which is www.ups.com/media/news, so there is a link given in the bottom of this slide. So if you go there, you will know the entire background of how this phishing actually took place. There is something called whaling. This is a Dilbert cartoon which comes in the newspapers almost every day. Now, phishing attacks on senior executives and other high profile targets within the business is called whaling. Now, if you look at the cartoon, the boss says, I have a new hobby, it is called phishing. I send fake banking emails to gullible executives. Then I find out their financial information and use it to steal the money that they don't deserve. So he is sending a mail. Dear customer, this is your bank. We forgot your social security number and password. Why don't you send them to us so we can protect your money? Sincerely, B banker. So the guy who is reading this mail thinks that it looks legit. It looks just like it came from the bank. So this kind of attack is called whaling. In 2013, Burger King Twitter account was hacked. So the message in Twitter was, we just got sold to McDonald's. Look for McDonald's in a hood near you. So this also actually happened. This came as a news article in yahoo.com. Similarly, Twitter itself was defaced by Iranian cyber army. This was quite a while back in 2009. The site has been hacked by Iranian cyber army. So there are a lot of incidences that have happened because of phishing, whaling, web application hacking. There, one more for you. ESPN site decorated with cute unicorns. It's in 2009. It was hacked. Way back in 2004, SCO, Santa Cruz organization. There, they were hacked. Probably Sony gets into the news for all the wrong reasons. Again, in 2011, Sony's pictures data breach happened where 1 million passwords were exposed. If you see the highlighted in blue sentence, it says it was via a SQL injection attack. And the hacker group that did it was Lulzsec. They released 150,000 Sony picture records, including usernames, password. So it was a big setback for the consumer giant. Now, what they have stated here is, we recently broke into sonypictures.com and compromised over 1 million users' personal information, including passwords, email address, home address, date of birth, and all Sony opt-in data associated with their account. So among other things, we also compromised all admin details of Sony Pictures, including password, along with 75,000 music videos and 3.5 million music coupons. So it was a very big attack, and it was one of the top 10 massive breaches that happened. Now, with so much information available for the hacker, can he not do an identity theft? It is very possible, right? All you need is one picture with all this information. Date of birth is there, social security number is there, address is there, everything is there. So why can't you do a identity theft? It is very possible. This is one of the newer ones. In 2014, eBay, there was a data breach. In fact, eBay published that change your password. The site was hacked. The company said the breached database housed the customer or had the customer's name, email address, and physical addresses, phone number, date of birth, and encrypted password. No financial transaction was taken. I think they are missing the point here, because once you have the customer's details, so much customer details are available or was hacked, I think it's much more valuable than the data itself, because with this you can create havoc in the system. And when I mean system, not the computer system, in the entire societal system. After seeing those hacks, we ask ourselves, why web application security is a high priority? Web applications nowadays have become the #1 target. 75% of the attacks target the application layer, as stated or as researched by Gartner. Most web applications are vulnerable. 95% of the web application have some sort of vulnerability. That is again by a research done by Imperva. And 78% of the easily exploitable weaknesses occur in web application. Again, that's a research done by Symantec. And again by Symantec, 67% of the website used to distribute malware are legitimate but compromised website. Now, website attackers by country, it is again by Incapsula in 2012. If you see the global distribution of the website attackers, USA 48.8%, and India was 0.74%. We should be ashamed of ourselves. So then again, if you see the proportions of website attackers, if you see distribution of attack sites, server takeover, the green ones, nothing has happened. The maximum that have happened, the red ones were data theft, which was 10.9%, somewhere in Alaska, somewhere in South America, somewhere in China. So the distribution of attack types is also given there. And surprisingly, credential theft is 15.7%. The green one, server takeover, is actually 73%. So I think there is a mistake in the color coding released by Incapsula. The yellow one should have been green. Anyway, the server takeover 73% is a whopping number. Credential theft is also pretty high when you consider the statistics. Data theft 10.9%. Vulnerability scanning only 0.4%. Again, there was a top 5 internet security threat, a research done by RSA in 2012, which says idealistic young activists will continue to attack. Big data companies are taking control of users while profiting from user information. Attackers will make more use of mobile exploits for hacking into corporate networks. Insiders, that is, employees, consultants, business partners, always or can always pose security risks. Foreign governments will start to target clouds and more types of business with APTs. Now, here, what we have to again consider is BYOD, bring your own device, is gaining popularity in many companies. So, use of more mobile exploits for hacking into corporate networks is possible. You take, for example, an Android phone. You sign in with your Google account, so you get access to your Gmail, you get access to YouTube, you get access to the other services of Google. So many of these services are there. Now, your username and password is also stored in the Android phone. Imagine a situation that the mobile is lost and you actually use some kind of credentials to connect to your corporate network, or some other software is put, a malware is put on your mobile phone. Now we have seen that the way that the mobile phone, we have seen in domain 5 about Windows CE, embedded systems and all that. Just because you have an embedded system or a phone does not mean that you cannot be attacked by a virus or malware. Now most of the phones, there are antivirus softwares available. So it is recommended to install that antivirus, internet security, etc. on that, because at your home or office when you connect through a Wi-Fi, you still are prone to the vulnerabilities that can happen to your desktop. So you have to be careful on how you protect your mobile phones. At the same time, attackers will make more use of mobile exploits for hacking into corporate network. Suppose I buy a basic phone, do my hack, throw away the phone somewhere into a river. Now tracing also becomes little difficult. So mobile exploits may be easier to do, but at the same time difficult to detect. We spoke about APTs in the previous slide. It is advanced persistent threat. It is grouped with both the capability and intent to persistently and effectively target a specific entity. An example is the Stuxnet creators can be considered an APT to the Iranian government. Now, what actually happened? Define the target, find and organize accomplices, build or acquire tools, research target infrastructure and employees. You test for detection, then you deploy, then the initial intrusion happens, then an outbound connection is initiated from within that network. Then expand access and obtain credentials, strengthen the foothold, exfiltrate data, infiltrate is going in, exfiltrate is taking out, then cover tracks and remain undetected. So advanced persistent threat covers this cycle. Now take a look at this Stuxnet 2009 to 2011 software sabotage. How Stuxnet disrupted Iran's uranium enrichment program. The first is the malicious computer worm probably entered the computer system, which is normally cut off from the outside world at the uranium enrichment facility at Natanz via a removable USB memory stick. 2. The virus is controlled from servers in Denmark and Malaysia with the help of two internet addresses, both registered to false names. The virus infects some 100,000 computers around the world. Then the third one is Stuxnet spreads through the system until it finds computer running the Siemens control software. Step 7, which is responsible for regulating the rotational speed of the centrifuge. Then there is the computer worm varies the rotational speed of the centrifuge. This can destroy the centrifuges and impair uranium enrichment. Then the Stuxnet attack starts in June 2009. From this point on, the number of inoperative centrifuges increases dramatically. So, more on this particular attack, you can read, the URL is given below. Now, similar to this, if you see, it has been made into a movie. One is Independence Day is for your module 3. Die Hard. Die Hard 4 was again a hacker, a disgruntled employee who left the government and hijacked all the computers of the government and disrupted the power. He had the ability to control aircraft, so many things. The Die Hard movie, so it is something similar to that. Now we come to big data company threat example. Now Google's Android backup functionality. It helps you to migrate all your data and applications to a new device quite easily. The same is the case with iOS also. It also is used to store passwords to all WLANs that you ever used on your device. So when you configure it, it still stores there. And everything is stored on the Google servers in the US unencrypted. Imagine a situation where somebody gets hold of this data. The same is possible with Apple devices also. Now with iCloud being integrated, where you can work from your Mac, store it on the iCloud, go home, work from your iPhone or iPad. So as the technology also increases, the threat also increases substantially. So we discussed a fair bit of background on web applications and some of the hacks that have happened.